The main event is a best of 3 between Cain Velasquez, Brown Pride, tattooed upon his chest, and Junior Dos Santos. They both won 1. I think that Junior Dos Santos is going to win this, and I think it's going to be a TKO in the 3rd round. Roy Nelson, 19-8, is fighting Daniel Cormier with a perfect record of 12. Now, Daniel has faced some quite high calibers, usually wins by decision. Roy Nelson has done rather well. He did clock up a 3-fight win streak, but that was snapped, unfortunately, in his last fight. He does tend to lose to any caliber he fights. I'm going to go for a Daniel Cormier decision, but I think this is going to be close, and I think I could see Roy Nelson winning by TKO if that doesn't happen. Whilst it could be argued that Diego Sanchez, 24-5, has possibly faced higher calibers than Gilbert Melendez, who has a record of 21-3, he's lost to most of the high calibers that he fights. I like Gilbert Melendez, I do, and I hope he wins this one, but I'm looking for it to go all the way to decision. It's a battle of the heavy hitters next between Sean Jordan, 15-4, and Gabriel Gonzaga with almost the same record, 15-7. And neither of them are doing too badly at the moment. I think I'm going to go for Sean Jordan, but I don't know how, and I don't really know why. Just a feeling. Okay, the next fight is well-rounded newcomer Darryl Montague with a record of 13-2 is making his debut against John Dodson with a record of 14-6. It should be noticed that John Dodson has never been finished and fought at championship-ish level. I am going to go with John Dodson winning by decision, which, interestingly enough, will give Darryl Montague, aka the Mongoose, his first loss by decision. The next fight is Tim Boetsch, 16-6, fighting CB Dollarway, 13-4. The tougher has a 2-fight win streak behind him, although the results are both by decision. Tim Boetsch is more or less the opposite. He has a 2-loss streak, and one of those is a decision victory. Do you know, I think I'm going to go for CB Dollarway on this. I might go for TKO in the 3rd. No, I'm not that brave. I think I might go for decision. Hector Lombard is fighting with a record of 32-4 against Nathan Marquardt with a record of 32-12. However, it should be noted that Nathan Marquardt has probably faced and maybe even beaten better calibers. The truth is, Hector Lombard is not doing so well recently, and Nathan Marquardt is doing particularly awful recently. 2 losses in a row. It should also be noted that Hector is usually on the feet, whereas Nathan Marquardt is known for being on the ground, but Hector Lombard has never been submitted, and Nathan Marquardt unfortunately also tends to lose a lot by decision. That's how I think this is probably going to go. I think Hector Lombard will probably get a decision victory here. People might also like to know at this point that there is a women's match going on between Sarah Kaufman and Jessica Eye. Don't know either of them. Don't know enough about any of them to be able to tell, except of course that Sarah Kaufman has a picture and Jessica Eye doesn't. So for that reason and that reason only, I might go for Sarah Kaufman. KJ Noons is on a 3-fight loss streak, although 2 of those were in Strikeforce. His record is 11-7, and he's mainly a striker who loses if he's going to, by decision. George Sotiropoulos is 14-5, and he was known as being a groundsman and an extra special groundsman who went quite high. However, he's not done so well recently. He's lost 3 in a row, and if he loses this match, he will be in serious shit, which would be rather unfortunate. I think I'm going to go... I don't see him actually submitting KJ Noons, it has to be said. So I'm going to go for George winning by decision. I think this is a particularly hard one to call. This is Adlan Amagov, 12-2, versus TJ Waldburger, 16-7. Waldburger wins almost exclusively by submission. Adlan is obviously, therefore, his antithesis, and he mainly wins on the feet. In fact, he's never won by submission. Though he has lost by one, it was right at the start of his career. I think this is very hard to call, this one. I think, to be on the safe side, I might go with TJ Waldburger by decision. Both of these next fighters are coming off losses. We've got Tony Ferguson with a record of 13-3 and Mike Rio with a record of 9-2. Mike Rio especially well-rounded, but I'm going to go with Tony Ferguson in his area of skill, which is on the feet, and say a TKO for him in the third. We do love a good squash match, and this is what this is supposed to be. Andre Fili, with a record of 12-1, is a debutee to the UFC. He hasn't lost since his knee injury, and that was in 2010. Some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fights ago. He is fighting Jeremy Larson. Larsen, not to be confused with Larson, who is well-rounded, I suppose, but recently hasn't been doing so well. Win-loss, win-win, loss-loss, and his record is 8-4. I am predicting here a win by Andre Fili, as they want, as they probably expect, and I'm going to go for a TKO in the second. And finally we have another squash match, but one I think is not going to go the right way. The UFC have brought in Kyoji Horiguchi with a record of 11-1, and he's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fight win streak. He's a debutee, but he does have a background, albeit a couple of years ago now, in Shuto. And he is fighting Dustin Paige. Dustin Paige has a record of 11-8, and he's not doing so well very recently. In fact, he has 3 losses in a row. He's, yes, win-loss, loss. I, however, think this is going to be upset of the night. I do think that. And I am going for Dustin Paige. And wouldn't it be funny if it was a submission victory? I live life dangerously with my predictions.